short. Awesome, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in for our third episode of Firstsales Friday. This is the third week in streak now, and we are back with another power-packed session around cold emails. In Firstsales Friday, we generally talk about sales, cold email, sales, and only sales, right? This is what Firstsales Friday is all about, where we come back and share some amazing stuff with you guys. We create amazing presentation to make it very easy for you, so that it's not just random talks, but actually you can grasp, understand things. We share some example, we share some more dope things and strategies that you can actually implement and that can help you grow pretty aggressively, right? So we're going to be walking through all of those strategies over here at the same time. And welcome to the third episode of Firstsales Friday. So right away, I'm going to be sharing my screen like I always do. Perfect. And I hope you guys are able to see my screen. So let's get started. Perfect, guys. So today we're going to be talking about mastering the art of follow-up strategies to keep your prospects engaged. This is a keynote session by me. I'm the founder and CEO of Firstsales.io and PitchGround at the same time. Firstsales.io is an email outreaching tool. It's a complete sales automation and one of the most robust and powerful tool out there on the internet right now. So let's get started, guys. So there are 4 core pillars for follow-ups, right? The first one is understanding the basics of follow-up, identifying when and how often to follow up, crafting an amazing follow-up message, and then analyzing your responses and iterating, right? We're going to be breaking down each one of these points so that you can have a very clear understanding of how you can potentially increase your conversion rate by the end of this webinar by almost 40 to 80%, but just by understanding the power of follow-ups, right? Let's get started with the very first pillar. So the very first pillar that we are going to be talking about over here is going to be, sorry, there you go. So understanding the basic pillars of follow-up. So if you're not following up, you're leaving a lot of opportunities on table. So this is the number one mistake that I often see from everyone who's cold emailing or doing sales is they focus more on trying to get more and more prospects and then just reaching out to them. And with just one email or 2 email or one or a couple of touch points, they just stop following up, right? Now that's a big problem, because if you're not going to do that, you're losing out on a lot of opportunities for yourself, and do not do that, right? Also, at the same time, assuming people are not interested in your offer can dissuade you from following up. Try multiple approaches, don't give up. Often you would often see that people are saying they're not interested, but then again, just keep reaching out, right? There's a very funny saying in sales that's being used by a lot of salespeople is keep following up with your prospects till they buy or die. It's a very funny quote, but you need to keep following up. Follow up is the premises of sales, right? If you do not do that, you're not good at sales, you're not selling well, and you are just basically giving up and just approaching new people. Now, every time you try and approach new people, you have to rebuild and restart building the entire relationship building with that new prospect. Now, this is where you keep on losing out opportunities, right? Generally, it's said that in the modern world, you have to reach a minimum of 18 touch points and a maximum of 30 touch points to get and convert any prospect into a paying customer. 18 to 30. Now, this 18 to 30 doesn't mean that you're just following up, right? It can be a social media post that they are seeing, your newsletters that they are seeing, things like that, right? Or the webinars that they do, they come and see you, they're joining a community where they're watching you again and again. So you have to build up multiple follow-ups. You have to build multiple touch points. I'm going to share some amazing strategy, how you can speed up those multiple touch points, but stick around till the end, because like we always do, we share some amazing cool stuff at the very end, right? Next is, how can it benefit your sales process? On an average, the first point of contact with a lead rarely results in any sales. In fact, on average, it only accounts for 2% of the sales. This is a problem. So when you reach out to 100 prospects, you might only get 2% conversion on the very first go. That's not good enough. That's not good enough, because those 98 prospects, why are you leaving them out and focusing on getting more 100 prospects? Why not just keep following up with them and increase your opportunity of converting maybe up to 10 or 15 people? That's possibility. It all comes down to your prospecting. If your prospecting is absolutely amazing and you have a world-class product, just keep following up, keep in touch with your prospects. Don't annoy them by pinging them multiple times as well, right? But keep in touch, keep following up. We'll be talking about when and how to also follow up, what kind of like sweet follow-ups you can do at the same time, right? And how you can put in some of the FOMO triggers to also get some nice conversions out there. So this is real statistics. Not following up can cost you. Let's look at some of the crazy numbers, right? Only 2% of deals are closed within the first contact. 3 to 5% of deals are closed within the second and third contact. 10% of the deals are closed within the fourth contact, and 80% of our deals are closed between like 5th to 12th contact, right? And there is a big opportunity that you might convert even bigger number where you do a minimum of 18 touch points. So it's very, very important, right? But then again, make sure that your prospecting is done right. If your prospecting is not done right, then you would not be able to sell them at all. And also remember that whenever you're reaching out to someone, make sure that you have a very high clarity about the problem that you're going to solve. Usually what happens is when people send cold emails, they try to sell a product or a service. That's a very wrong approach. What you need to do is try to solve their problem over email, that, hey, I can solve your problem. I know you have this problem. This is where the art of prospecting comes into picture, right? We'll be doing one of the sessions on the art of prospecting as well, and show you the 4 pillars of prospecting. But this art of prospecting is very critical, because once you have identified that particular prospect and their industry, understand their deepest pain point and make sure you address those pain points. When you do that, you automatically increase your chances of conversions. And then when you follow up, when you throw some good offers, you start seeing some conversions coming in when you start doing the follow-ups, right? But unfortunately, most salespeople give up after first attempt. This is data. 44% of salespeople give up after just one attempt. That's it. Just one attempt. Come on, guys. Take some time and effort, right? Try to build relationship. Sales is not just about selling. Sales is about solving. If you know you have a fantastic solution, either in the form of a product or a service, be confident. Keep approaching your prospects again and again and again and again and again and again, because you know that they have the specific problem. It's just that either they are really very busy right now, they might not need right now immediately, they don't have the bandwidth to possibly implement things. So try to understand why someone is not responding to you, or maybe someone might have just seen the email somewhere while they're traveling. They might have gotten busy and they might have forgotten that they've actually read the email. So this is why it's very important to follow up. So, but again, only follow up very aggressively if you're very confident about the solution that you can provide. Because like I said, sales is not selling. Sales is solving problem. If you can solve the problem, you start generating sales. This is very critical aspect of how the fundamental of follow-up works, right? So it's not you, it's them. According to the 3% rule of sales and marketing, at any given point, only 3% of your market is actively buying and 7% intend to change. 56% have a need or are not ready to act. 40% are poised to begin. This is again industry stats, right? This is the reason why you need to start following up. And also when you follow up, address different case studies, address different issues, address different challenges. It's very important to understand the objections that's coming in so that you can craftfully reply, respond, and follow up. Because again, like I said, many a times, these are the biggest challenges that your prospects will face, that they're not actively buying. They intend to change it, but they're not able to do that, or they have a need for it, but they're not ready to act upon it. Sometimes what happens is you just need to give that last push before someone takes an action. Let's take a simple analogy. I think a lot of you might know swimming, and we all know that when the very first time you went to swim and you wanted to learn, what happened? You wanted to learn swimming, but you couldn't because you were just afraid, right? That's how your prospects are. They're just afraid of making that change. They're just not ready to act. But guess what your trainers do? They help you out, right? They help you guide through every single process. They help you train. Your prospects are exactly the same. Your prospects are that person who's about to go to swim, but is just not able to swim because they're just scared and afraid. As a trainer, as an expert who has a great solution, you need to guide them and walk through every single step. Because if you're not going to guide and help them walk through every single step, that's when you will find a lot of challenges, and you'll find challenges with conversion, because just scraping new prospects, getting new prospects all the time, and not having a good solution and a follow-up strategy will be the core reason why you're not going to convert them. So that's why it's very important to understand those pain points. And again, make sure that every time you contact someone, and if you speak with someone, use a proper CRM and you document the entire journey about your calls. That's again very, very, very important, right? So again, we're going to dive into some more aspect of the things in just a moment. We'll be showing some nice examples as well. Meanwhile, guys, if you have any questions, please drop them in. And I hope you're liking the content so far. I hope you're enjoying. I hope you're learning some new things. If you are, drop in your fire emoji. Let me know so that I know that you guys are learning something new, and that will help me to keep pumping up more and more analogies, examples throughout the webinar. So just drop in your fire emoji, drop in your rocket emoji. Let me know if you guys are excited, you're learning something new. And that also will pump me up, and I'm going to share more with you guys, right? Awesome, awesome. I can already see the chats coming in. Fantastic, guys. Thank you so much. So let's move forward, right? By simply following up, you are there when your prospects are ready to buy. That's very important, right? There is another very simple thing that you can do every time you introduce something new. You follow up with them. There's a great hack that I'm going to share with you guys, right? If you guys are on the verge of looking to scale up, but you're really struggling, but you have a lot of prospects, start doing weekly webinars, just like how we started with Firstsales Friday, right? The objective of Firstsales Friday was exactly the same, so that all of our prospects that are in our pipeline, we update them that, hey, look, we do this webinar, and a few of you are already in this webinar. So what happens during this process is they see, and that builds a lot of confidence in them. They know that they are buying the right product, they're buying the right service, and more importantly, you will be able to deliver to them. That's very important, because ultimately a transaction only happens when you win the trust. If you do not win the trust, you will not be able to convert them, because every transaction is purely based out of trust. So always, always, always ensure that you follow up, you are in front of them. And more importantly, whenever they decide to buy, your name should, or your product services should be the first thing that should come in their mind. It's very important. Now let's talk about the second pillar, which is identifying when and how often to follow up. Again, take a note of these if you want, so that writing habits are always good. Just write down some of the points and some of the critical points that you really are going to take away from this webinar as I speak, as I share. So that way you don't have to go and watch through the entire webinar once again, even on recordings, right? So the first thing, understand the optimal timing for follow-ups. You want to give your prospects enough time to see and consider your initial email, but also you do not want to wait so long that they even forget about you. A common practice is to send the first follow-up email within 1 or 2 days after the initial email. If you still did not get a response, you can send another email after 2 days, and then space it out anywhere after follow-ups by 3 to 5 days. Right. So your first follow-up should always be within 1 or 2 days. It should not be longer than that. In fact, I prefer having the first follow-up within 1 day, because like I said, many times they would watch your email and they are about to reply, but they just get busy, or they are in certain meetings, but they did check your email out. So again, it's very important to do that. There is one amazing hack over here that I'm going to share with you guys. Every time your prospect opens your email, send them a LinkedIn request. Why is that? Because it builds trust. Right away, there is a face that comes by. There is the entire bio, everything that you're doing. This is why it's very important to focus on optimizing your LinkedIn profiles. It's very, very critical, especially when you're reaching out to people. LinkedIn today is one of the most professional B2B network place out there that has pretty much like majority of your customers actually sitting over there. So it's very, very important you focus on optimizing your LinkedIn profile, because that's going to help you connect with so many more prospects, right? Very, 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 very important. Again, I'm going to show you a couple of my DMs as well, that how I do it. Like I said, what we do is exactly what we preach and exactly what we show to you guys, right? So I'm going to be showing you guys, but that's going to be at the end of the webinar, and that is not going to be recorded part. So every time, every webinar that we do, many parts are not going to get recorded, because again, for some of the concerns, whatever it is, but we're not going to be sharing that, right, with anyone else, right? So now coming back over here, coming to the second point, which is the importance of frequency in cold emails. Too many follow-ups in a short time can come off as a desperate or annoying, which can turn prospects off. On the other hand, if you do not follow up enough, you might miss out an opportunity. So research shows that if often take multiple touch points to get a response. So don't get discouraged if you do not hear back after the first or the second follow-up. So again, there is a chance that so this is where I have seen quite a lot of our users as well at times getting really disappointed that they see, oh my God, there is an amazing 50% open rate, but then again, they probably saw one reply, or maybe they saw 0 reply. And they often get discouraged, saying that maybe the channel doesn't work, but sales doesn't work that way, right? Because again, I'm gonna go back to my analogy of dating, right? If you're going on a bar and if you're meeting someone, or if you're going somewhere and if you're potentially looking to meet your like future life partner, you're not going to get married the very first time you meet them. You're going to meet them again and again and again and again. There's a process. And this is why in every webinar, I say that sales is equal to relationship, right? Like getting in sales, doing sales and getting into relationship or dating is exactly the same. There is no difference between both of them. So if you are already in a good stage of your dating career, or your dating life, you're going to be a very good salesperson as well. That's what dating teaches you. It teaches you perseverance, patience, and so many other things. The same thing happens with sales as well. You need to have patience. Just like you're not going to get your future partner, you're not going to get married to them after just a couple of meetings. The prospects are not going to buy from you after just hearing from you a couple of times. They would want you to take some efforts, right? Unless and you take that effort, because you are the one who wants the sale. You are the one who wants to close them and get them as a customer. So you have to take that effort. So if you haven't started dating, go and start dating, right? Because you're going to learn a lot about every aspect of life that can be implemented into sales. Again, it's very, very similar. It's funny that, but that's how analogies really work, right? That's what I have experienced in my life as well, and I'm sharing with you guys. But coming to the third point, mix it up a bit. Following up with someone on LinkedIn after emailing them may be an efficient strategy, or vice versa. So again, it's very important, which is what I mentioned just a while ago, that every time someone opens their email, so what I do is I sit on my Firstsales, I keep checking who is opening my email after every few hours, and I send them a new LinkedIn request right away, because I'm only reaching out to those prospects whose LinkedIn URL is something that I have. I'm not reaching out to anyone else. So again, it's very, very, very important that you have the right data so you can start building multi-touch points. And that is a very effective way to build trust, because, but again, this will only work if your LinkedIn is heavily optimized. If it's not optimized, you will not be able to build any trust. So start getting active on LinkedIn if you haven't already. If you guys want, I can keep a separate session just on LinkedIn, probably the next or the following episode. If you guys want that, just drop in your comment LinkedIn, so that I know that you guys want me to do a LinkedIn session. Also, I grew my LinkedIn from like almost 1,000 connections, 1,000 followers to about 35,000 followers in about 1 year of time frame. In that 1 year, I also became one of the top 200 creators on LinkedIn, as per LinkedIn, where I was a part of like their LeCap program, LinkedIn Creator Accelerator programs. I was one of the 200 top creators in India. So all of that happened in a matter of just 1 year. And today, LinkedIn is a very critical part of our strategy, and we use it very effectively for also closing in customers for PitchGround. And at the same time for sales as well, right? So that's how we have effectively used and have gone multi-channel, because today it's not just about emailing someone. That's not going to get you sales. You also need to make sure that you're pretty active on social media. That builds a lot of trust, because many of your prospects might be just watching you. They might be observing you and they're patiently waiting that now is the time to buy, right? So that's how you build those multiple touch points. Moving forward, I do see a lot of comments coming in from LinkedIn, guys. So I'm going to try my level best to organize the next or the following episode as LinkedIn, and I'm sure it's going to be pretty deadly, right? Next is examples of follow-up. You might want to take screenshot, print it out, whatever you guys want to do. This is a pretty critical part of this entire webinar. So day 1 should be your initial email. Day 3 should be your first follow-up. Day 5 should be your second follow-up. Day 10 should be your third follow-up. Day 15 should be your fourth follow-up, and day 21 should be your fifth follow-up. So generally, you build a 21-day sequence. In this journey, whoever has opened your email, reach out to them on LinkedIn and make sure that you connect with them. It's very, very, very important, because if you're not going to connect with them on LinkedIn, chances of you really closing them is going to be very low. Just increase your chances by connecting with them on LinkedIn. And again, making sure you're very active on LinkedIn, which is just creating different pieces of content every single day around your industry. So let's say if you are selling, if you're an agency and you are probably selling, let's say, website design services, talk about page optimization, talk about the challenges, talk about the UI, talk about how design can impact your conversions, create a strategy. You can use ChatGPT as well. When I do the LinkedIn session, I'll also use ChatGPT in terms of how you can come up with a lot of ideas. So I'm going to share quite a lot of things in that particular session. But again, make sure that you make it a habit that every single day from Monday to Sunday, you're posting one content. It's going to take just 10 minutes of your life, but that 10 minutes of your life and that 70 minutes per week is going to drive you the maximum conversion, especially when you do cold email. Because again, like I said, you have to combine both of them to drive in that conversion for you guys. And also, follow-ups is not going to be like one channel today. Follow-ups has gone multi-channels. Always remember that. Speaking of that, LinkedIn integration inside Firstsales should be coming out most likely in the last quarter of this year, where we will also automate your entire LinkedIn journey. And who knows, we might add some more extra features around LinkedIn where your post and things like that could be automated as well. No promises. Let's see. Right. Okay. Moving forward, let's talk about the third pillar, right? Crafting amazing follow-up messages. So how to create a compelling follow-up message for cold email? A good follow-up message should remind the prospect of your initial mail, provide additional value, and include a clear call to action. You might share a relevant piece of content, mention a recent development at your company, or offer to set up a call or meeting. Keep the message concise, focused, and make sure it's easy for the prospect to understand what you're asking and how you respond. First, again, keep the follow-up very short. Two sentences or 3 sentences maximum. Do not try to elaborate. If possible, maximum of 4 sentences, but again, do not go beyond that. Second, do not just ask them that, hey, I sent you previous email, can you please respond? No, it doesn't work, right? Be very clear. Look, whenever you're doing cold email to someone or reaching out to someone, if they know you're trying to pitch them, what your prospects really want to know is, are you the right person who can solve the problem? That is what you need to focus on. As long as you have that solution and you can pitch that confidently, you would get a conversion, right? So that's what everyone has. So we have a lot of problem internally as a company. If someone reaches out to me and if they're able to figure out my problem, and if they reach out to me, hey, I'm going to buy, right? At that point of stage, because I know that you have done enough research about me. And that's how we have hired like few people within the company. That's how we are working with so many freelancers. We're currently working with like probably like 15 plus freelancers out there. That's primarily because they reached out to me telling me that, Udit, you have this exact problem. I have the solution. Let's work, right? Their offer was, let me give you the first pieces of work free for the first week. You observe my work. If you like it, you hire me, or else I'll get rid of your life. Very straightforward follow, right? And guess what? I responded. At that stage, I've even forgotten I'm a marketer or sales guy. I just forgot, because when you become a consumer, you actually start thinking like a consumer. To give you the best analogy and example, if you see an ad of one of your favorite brands running 50, 70, 80% off, you're going to stop thinking like a marketer. You're going to be like, hey, I needed to buy this. I'm just going to anyways get it, right? So if Amazon today sends you an email saying, we're going to offer 50% discount on this product, you're going to forget for a moment that you're a marketer or a sales guy. If you had a need for that product, you're going to end up buying that. That's exactly how it works with everyone, right? Understand the problem and then craft these like very amazing messages, right? And this is something that I have tried. It works, that I'm going to get rid of your life if it doesn't work. It works, man. It just works. It's beautiful sentence. Start using it in your follow-ups. It just works like a charm, right? I've used it so many times. So yeah, if you don't like this webinar, I'm going to get rid of your life, basically, right? If you don't see enough value. So similarly, when you are doing those follow-ups, reach out and just be very clear. I am not going to annoy you if you do not like my work. Simple, period, right? Okay, moving forward. Balancing persistence and respectfulness in cold email is very critical. At any point of stage, you cannot lose your patience. At any point of stage, you cannot be disrespectful for people. I'll give you a great example. So let's say that if your prospect is late on a call for 10-15 minutes, don't send them a rude email. Just politely tell them, hey, looks like you were busy. I understand that. So why don't we just reschedule the call? Here is the link to reschedule the call. That's it. If they don't show up again, do the same thing. Be respectful. Slow down, be respectful, be patient, because you need a sale over here, right? You are the one who are in need, not them. So make sure that you're very polite at every given point, because if you're not respectful, if you're not polite, you're not going to ever convert them. So it's very important at that point of stage. Also, if possible, try to give your number to the prospect. That also helps them to build trust. Don't ask them for their number, but you can give them your number probably in one of the future follow-ups. Don't include it in the first email. Usually you add that in the fourth email or third email, or when you're sending the last email, that, hey, at any point of stage, if you are looking for something like this, reach out to me on this number, right? That again builds trust. Very critical. So now it's important to be persistent and keep following up until you get a response, but you also need to respect the prospect's time and attention. Make sure each follow-ups add value in some way, and it's not just asking for a response. If you send several follow-ups and haven't heard back, it might be time to move on to the other prospect. So if you've sent 4 or 5 follow-ups, 6 follow-ups, 7 follow-ups, and if you still do not get a response from them, then just reach out to them again after 3 months. You don't need to just keep following up with them. Give a break. Maybe they might not require right now, because if they're opening your email and they're not responding, then that just means that they are just waiting to see if you have the right offer, right? So again, I'm going to take an analogy of dating. Your potential partner is not going to go out with you till the time you ask them, hey, would you like to go on a date with me for a coffee or a tea? You would not know that. So you have to ask the right question. If you're not going to ask the right question, you're not going to get the response either, right? So many a times you might have to approach a few times before you get that first yes. So be polite, be patient. It's very critical, right? This is why I keep saying that sales is dating. There's no difference in both of them. When you start including and start seeing the real life aspects of your life and how you see it with business, you will see that there's so many synergies out there, right? Moving on. Examples of effective cold email follow-up. So here are a few follow-ups for you guys. If you want to take a screenshot, these are 2 follow-ups that always works. You can add the third follow-up, which we did not include purposely, which is, I'm going to get rid of your life if you don't like it, right? Just give us a try for free for a week. And if you don't like it, we're going to get rid of your life. That's it. It's so effective. It works because you're basically telling them, look, give me this final opportunity. I deserve that opportunity, right? They would give you that opportunity. Again, combine it with a good offer, right? Like, try my product or service free for a week. If you don't like it, only then I'll get rid of your life. And generally, if you're very confident about your product or services, you know, the moment someone says yes, that's your opportunity, that you have won their first piece of trust. Onboard them and make sure you have a solid customer service. Otherwise, it's not going to work, right? Moving forward. Now, just wanted to follow up on the email I've sent last week. Your product and services, I thought you might be interested in this piece of article that discusses this relevant topic. Let me know if you would like to have more chat about this. That could benefit your team. Again, be straightforward. Include something. Include some social proof out there as well. Include some case studies as well. That works out, right? Second email is, hey, hope you had an amazing weekend. Wanted to see what your team thought of my suggestions. Let me know if I can help at all. You're not pressuring at all. Third, hey, I haven't heard from you, but maybe it's this isn't your focus. Who is the best person in your team whom you can speak about? So generally, this works out great in the third piece of follow-up, right? So what happens is that maybe you're reaching out to CXO and they're very busy. They might be having other people in their department. Just ask them politely if there is someone else in your team that can kind of work this out and have a talk with, do let us know. Again, very important. And let's talk about the final pillar now, which is pillar number four. Pillar number four, which is analyzing responses and iterating. How to interrupt responses to your cold email follow-ups. Look for patterns in the responses you receive. Are people responding positively to your certain aspects of your messages? Are they asking similar questions or expressing common concerns? Use these insights to refine your follow-up strategy. Don't just use blind templates all the time. Once you start getting responses, you need to start getting personal at that point of stage. You need to start responding on a very personal note, understand their concerns, understand their objections. Every potential customer might have some kind of objections in general. And you want to make sure that you actually reach out to them, you speak with them about the same, and just refine your follow-up strategy. It's very, 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 very critical that you go personal at that point of stage to have a better conversion. Now, the next point is the importance of adapting your strategy based on feedback. In the world of cold emailing, flexibility is key. If you are not getting the responses you want, it's critical to adjust your approach. This could mean changing your message, adjusting your follow-up timing, or even targeting different prospects altogether. So again, it all starts with prospect. And once you start cold emailing, understand that every potential prospect has different objections. Some might want to get started right away. Some might take 2 weeks. Some might take 4 weeks to get started. Some might be just wondering. Some would probably had bad experience in their past working with someone else, right? And you are dealing with their baggage. Remember, you got to win trust at that point of stage. It takes time, right? Give that time to your prospect. If they have shown interest, don't rush into selling. Give them time and just politely ask them constantly, can I help? Do you need any help? Are you stuck somewhere? Can I help you out? Can I guide you? Right? So every time we get a prospect for first sales, and if they are stuck, we just politely ask them that, hey, are you stuck? Do you want to get on another call so that we can help you launch your first campaign? Or what are your challenges? What are your objections? You just politely deal with them and just answer them very politely. It's very important, right? This is how you do follow-ups. Follow-up is not just you send a bunch of random emails. That's not known as just follow-up, right? Follow-up is in different parts. It's about ideology, the thought process that you implement in terms of responding to someone. Don't just have blind templates out there. It's not going to work if you're just going to throw some random blind templates all the time, right? So this is why we mentioned that you have to be flexible. That's very key. So how to handle non-responsive prospects in cold email campaigns? If a prospect isn't responding, it doesn't necessarily mean they're not interested. They could be busy, or your email might be getting lost in the inbox. Many a times, we often feel that, oh my God, cold email doesn't work. But the problem is your emails might be landing in spam. The biggest reason is you're not cleaning your list. You haven't done your prospecting right. Your email has got a ton of spammy keywords, right? Avoid all of those things, because if you're gonna not do and use the channel the right way, you're not gonna get the right response. So I'm gonna give you a crash course of cold email in just 3 words: prospecting, copy, offer. If you combine these 3 things, you're gonna generate a ton of sales, right? I'm not getting into the technicalities of the things right now, but these 3 things is your entire cold email and sales process, right? Again, prospecting, copy, offer. Never ever forget these 3 words if you want to use this channel and start making money, start generating sales for your business. This 3 keywords is the core trigger. This 3 keyword is what is going to make you money. Again, I'm not going to get into the technicalities of this right now because we're doing webinars every week. But again, if you guys have any questions, drop them in the QA below. I'm more than happy to take a question. If you are on any of the social platforms, again, drop your question in the comments. I'm more than happy to take up those questions and answer some of your questions, right? So how Firstsales helps you take your best shot. We do unlimited follow-ups organized by campaigns, sequences, variations, split testing, etc. We send the follow-ups at the time you want in that particular time zone. That helps out. Many a times people send emails during the lunchtime because the software doesn't allow you to take a pause during that time. That's the biggest problem. Firstsales solves that problem for you, right? So again, it's very important that you have to have a great understanding about your prospects. So maybe your prospects might be working on a Saturday. So if you are targeting people in Asia, especially in India, for an example, a lot of people work during Saturdays or alternate Saturdays. Enable Saturdays for email sending in the first half. You get an opportunity at that point of stage, because most people think that people don't read emails on Saturday, which they actually do, by the way. So you could have a less busy inbox and actually reach out to them during that time, right? Automate and personalize with ease and tone of the conversation. And finally, add new prospects into the winning formula, because Firstsales will automatically handle the entire scheduling, automations, and everything for you. This, in a nutshell, is your entire follow-up strategies on steroids. You understand the basics of follow-up. You identify when and how often to follow up. You craft a brilliant, amazing follow-up. And finally, you analyze and iterate and repeat that process again. This is the entire follow-up cycle and the 4 pillars of follow-up. Guys, again, if you have any questions, drop them in. More than happy to take up your questions. If you want to level up, we have a free cold email masterclass that's freely available. Just go on learn.firstsales.io, or you can go on pigr.co/CEM and just access the course. It's again absolutely 100% free. Utilize that. There's massive opportunity. As you can see over here, cold emails that generated $4.3 million in sales. Email outreaching has a return of $36 on every dollar spent. Email is used worldwide. Cold email, 7-figure revenue in just 90 days using cold email. This is out there. The reason is they use the channel the most effective way. And when you do that, that's when you kill it, right? Again, you guys can always reach out to me. I'm going to be sharing my screen and some of my LinkedIn and some of my follow-ups now, so that again, you guys can see some of the things out there and how we do certain aspects of the things. So let me just do this. Meanwhile, guys, I do see a lot of questions out there. So please drop in your questions before I share my screen, and we dive into some of the strategies that I can show you guys as well, right? So the very first question coming in is, what is your best follow-up message that you get more conversions? Honestly, you have to be flexible. There is no best follow-up message, to be very honest with you. Your best follow-up message will really depend upon your prospects and their responses and whom you're targeting. You have to understand the culture at the same time. A lot of aspects goes into it, right? So again, as I mentioned earlier, don't templatize things, because if you're going to start templatizing everything, you're not going to get a good conversion. You have to constantly keep tweaking, and that's very, very, very important. So there's a question coming in from Joydeep. He's saying, how to pitch prospects for the very first time. I think Joydeep, we covered this in our very first webinar. You might want to check out our YouTube channel for Firstsales and check out the very first episode where we spoke about how to reach out to the prospect for the very first time, how to write the email. We spoke about everything. So I wouldn't like spend a lot of time covering that, because that's a very lengthy process. We did a 1 hour of webinar on that. You might want to actually check it out as well, right? Again, every week we do that. So it's going to be very helpful for you. Let me take up some more questions. So there's a question coming in. I would like to know if Excel is a part of key skills and required for sales to be effective. Absolutely not. You don't need to know this Excel if you want to like sell more. Absolutely not. The next question is, most people are genuinely busy. So yeah, keep following up. That's it. That's what I was talking about. Just keep following up all the time. Amrita is saying good information. Thank you so much, Amrita. Then Clouded is saying very helpful information. I'm glad you found it helpful. Then let's see, there are more people coming in right now. Practical tips, keep it on. Thank you so much, Baiju. It's good to see you. Good to see you once again. Then perfect. I don't see any questions. Are there, guys? Again, if you have any questions, please let me know. I'm more than happy to take up those questions. Perfect. All right, I'm going to be resharing my screen in just 1 second. And I'm going to be sharing just one DM to you guys, right? I cannot share all the DMs. All right, let me just share one DM with you guys over here. All right. I hope you guys are able to see my screen once again. Okay, I hope you guys are able to see my screen once again. As you can see, my LinkedIn is always busy. I have to zoom in right away because there's a lot of stuff going on in my account, right? A lot of discussion going on with a lot of prospects. So I don't want to walk through all of those, but check this out, right? So we reached out to this prospects over the email, right? And then right away, as soon as he opened the email, I sent out this email. I sent out this message to this particular prospect on LinkedIn saying that, hey, we are already connected here. You just opened my cold email that I had sent regarding Firstsales. I've been very straightforward with him. No pushing around, nothing, just very straightforward stuff. As you can see, right? Again, I'm literally sharing my LinkedIn account with you guys, right? And then you will see that then I asked them very straightforward, look, do you want to increase the number of demo calls? Guess what? They're already exploring the platform and they're looking to consider it already. This is what happens. This is just one cold email. This was the very first response. And again, if you look at it, my reply and my connection and my follow-up was very straightforward. Do not bush around. Now I'll break down a few of the things. First, I helped him remind that how I connected and what was the email, right? What was the reason behind it? I reminded that particular prospect. Second, here is, check this out, quick check, right? I'm not pressuring them, please buy, no. Quick check, do you want to increase the number of demo calls? Now, this is a SaaS company, and this is why I know the problem, that their problem is they need more demo calls. I understand the problem. This is where you have to understand the prospecting and every industry that you're targeting. You have to understand the problem statement. Do not mix up 10, 20 different industries when you're outreaching. Combine all of them under one roof and then send them email. It's not going to work. Always segment your data and create one campaign, just one campaign for one ICP, one industry. That's it. If you have 10 industry, create 10 campaigns. That's how you do cold email, right? And then check this out. You're already exploring the platform, and I ended the discussion over here. Sounds great. Now I've added this prospect in my CRM to follow up with this particular prospect in about 2 to 3 weeks of time, because he's clearly mentioned that we would really consider it in the future, right? They are interested, but they're just waiting. So I'm going to wait 2 weeks. I'm going to share some case study and things like that. Mohit is already connected with me on LinkedIn now. So if he sees this, Mohit, I'm going to be following up with you very, very soon, right? But jokes apart, fun side apart, this is how you do things, guys, right? Again, if you have any questions, please drop them in. I'm here for a few more minutes. I want to answer all of your questions so that you can really understand that cold email and sales is not difficult. It's not difficult as you think. You need to have confidence. You need to make sure that you're confident about the product and services that you're selling, and then start building relationships with everyone, right? So that's what you need to do in order to get sales. But then again, important, the 3 critical things. One is prospecting. Very, very, very important. Second is your copy. It needs to be very straightforward. Do not do any bushing around. Be very straightforward. Look, here is what I'm contacting. And if you saw, it was just one message, quick check. That's it, one line. Because I addressed the problem right away in just one line. So I'm not taking and consuming too much of my consumer's time or my potential prospects' time. I'm just asking them, hey, spend just 3 seconds reading this. It could be valuable for you. 3 seconds, they definitely did. You see? And they're already exploring. So that's how you get sales. That's how you build subscriptions. That's how you sell your product. That's how you follow up. And more importantly, that's how you grow your business. So I'm going to check if there are a few more questions out there. There's a question coming. How do we know NFS who has opened the email? Great question. Let me just reshare my screen. All right, I'm going to reshare my screen once again. If you see my screen, again, I'm showing you one of our active workspace right now. We are running about like 20 odd workspaces right now at the moment. So we are in a full-fledged scaling mode at the moment. So as you can see over here, this is where you can go and check who has opened your email or not. So here is our 16-point analytics out there that will help you to understand everything. And this is where you click on this. And this is the chart that you see, right? You will see like which open came in when. So this is almost a week-old campaign that we started basically. So as you can see, we have sent out almost 430 emails over the course of last 6-7 days. And we've already gotten 3 prospects who are very interested. who are almost ready to buy from us. Most likely we'll be closing them within like next few days. And then we have already gotten 120 open rate. This is spectacular in 1 week. Just 1 week old campaign, guys. Check this out. This campaign was launched on 24th. Again, no pushing around. I'm telling you, we use our own. So this is how we have been growing. This is how we have been closing more people. Opportunity is endless. The amount of money, amount of sales you can make is endless. If you have a world-class product and services, go out there and start selling confidently. So I hope, Pooja, this answered your question. Just go over here, check out. And when you click on activity feed, you'll start seeing all of the emails who have opened your email. Now, the moment you do that, make sure you reach out to them and connect with them on LinkedIn. Very important, because you want to make sure that they actually see your profile, because when they see that, they see your content, it helps a lot. You would be amazed how many prospects actually often reaches out to me and tell me that they love my pieces of content that I do, and that helps me to start closing a lot more, right? Again, I'm going to quickly share my screen and show you my LinkedIn once again. Some of the things, right? So as you can see, whenever I go live, I also go live on my LinkedIn. So everyone who's watching me live, the 17 people live on LinkedIn, hey everyone. So just drop in some of your messages, just drop in your hi, right? So that I know you guys are watching. And I hope you guys are also enjoying these contents every Friday with me, talking about sales, talking about cold emails, talking about these strategies. I think everyone deserves to learn more about sales. And I think being a Marwadi, the sales part really just comes very naturally to me. So I want to make sure that everyone learns sales, right? That's why we do this Friday of like Firstsales Friday. And more importantly, you're not going out there and you're watching this. So I really appreciate it. And you're already ahead than most of the people. So now, as you can see, whenever I go live, it shows up on my profile. Now, very often I get like huge amounts of visits every single week, right? Let me just see where the impressions are. Yeah, so there you go, right? So a lot of people generally like watches my content every single week. So as you can see over here, people go out, then people check my profile, people check my resources. I have also my resources. I have optimized my entire profile. Again, I'm going to dive into it completely in one of the sessions. I'm just giving you a quick glimpse. Then check out here are my featured posts and everything. And you will see that nowhere I'm trying to sell people. Because the first thing you want to do is you want to connect with them on a human level. Be vulnerable, be honest, tell them who you are. That's how you win people. You don't win people by just selling them. You win people by building trust with them. That's how you build long-term relationships. So as you can see, each one of them is a story. That's how you do things, right? Don't try to sell. Again, we're going to be having a separate session. As you can see, this is already live. So this is more content. That 24 comments already over here. Amazing, right? So more and more people who are connecting with me, they're learning. Again, I'm showing everything live to you guys with regards to how things are really happening, right? Then again, check this out. I always post unique stuff. I come up with unique stuff all the time. I keep on sharing different case studies. So I keep my contents very excited, right? Most people, what they would do is they would pull up some random stuff, put some random stuff on the LinkedIn, and then they would expect to get conversion. It doesn't happen. But when you start connecting with your prospects on LinkedIn, whenever, so there is a small, amazing stuff that most of you might not know. Every time you connect with your latest prospect, they see your post, because LinkedIn is built in a way where they want to nurture your relationship with your new potential connect. So they would always see your content. The previous ones might not see, but the newest connections in the last 1 week will see your content. And this is why if you just post 7 days alone, they will see 7 times and you've built 7 touch points already with them. This is how you do things, guys. Again, if you see over here, I've written my story and then rest of the things. This builds such a huge confidence. And then I have my video over here, right? I don't have just my profile picture. If you go, you will see the video over here. So this is how you start optimizing things for yourself. This is how you start doing things. This is how you start building up a sales pipeline, and this is how you sell. As a result, you can see I have about like 35,000 approx followers right now at the moment, and this keeps going up every single day because I keep posting new stuff every single day that reaches out to new people, active people. So that means active people are constantly connecting with me. I'm also connecting with my prospects who are only active on LinkedIn. Those are the only people I pitch to. When you combine this entire strategy and then start following up, you would start seeing conversions, because ultimately, again, it's a game of trust. It's a game of building trust again, but make sure your product and services are very good, because if your services or product is not good, you're breaching your trust with them. So make sure you do that. That's how, guys, you convert, and that's how you make your Fridays amazing with me. So I'm going to take some last questions before we wrap up. So there's the next question coming in. For B2B cold email, how many email we should send daily if we have a list of 5,000? Ideally, it really depends on your mail account. So one email account, you shouldn't be sending out more than 100 emails. If you're using G Suite, I would heavily recommend just use G Suite for all your cold emails and then combine it with Firstsales and just automate it, and do not send more than 100 emails per day. So ideally, if you're also going to be following up, I would say, Joydeep, that get about like 3 mail accounts with G Suite. It's very cheap. It's only like 1.25 or $1.5. Or in terms of Indian rupees, it's probably like just 140 rupees per account per month. It's not that expensive. So just use that. That's hardly like 500 rupees or about like $4 or $5 at the very most. It's peanuts for the amount of sales that you can generate, because each of your ticket size, I'm assuming, is going to be a minimum of $500, because if it's below $500, cold email is not the right channel. But if it's above $500, it's a great channel. You might have heard a lot of gurus talking about big ticket size clients. They all do cold emails, right? You don't need to buy their courses. You can just join Firstsales Friday and probably learn more, right? Because we don't sell these courses. We are straight up telling you what I do is what I share all the time. My contents, I always make sure is the most authentic contents, because I do what I share. And every time you would ever ask me, it's me who writes things. And I would always be open to sharing everything that I do, right? This is how I've built things. So being authentic is very critical. And that's what helps me to connect with a lot of people, basically. So I hope that answers the question. So Jaideep, get about 3 mail accounts and put it up inside Firstsales and get going. I think you just need a small business plan to get started. The next question is, if we use Firstsales, how can we know our emails land in inbox or spam? Open rate, right? The moment you start seeing open rate, that means your emails are landing in inbox. Also, we do various checks. We don't allow you to spam. Spamming and sending bulk too many emails at one go is the biggest reason why people's email land in spam. Second, make sure that you're not using any spammy keywords inside your email. For example, never ever use word like guarantee, right? No, do not use dollars and a lot of those things, right? If you move, the moment you start using that, you are guaranteeing to land into spam. So make sure you do that. Again, prospecting, do right prospecting, clean up your emails. Make sure that you're setting up multiple accounts. You're not sending too many emails from one mail account. You have the right copy for the right prospect. That way, they're not going to hit the spam button either, because it's very relevant to them. That's how you ensure that you build cold emails in the right way. And again, keep joining in every week, because we keep sharing a lot of things every week. We're going to be doing this because I'm having fun. I think you guys are having fun as well, because no one has left. You guys are learning, and I'm very happy to connect with you guys every Friday. So let me just check if there are any last questions out there. So there's a question that's coming in. Sometimes after accepting LinkedIn requests with personalized messages, they don't reply. How to tackle that? I know your answer will be follow-up, but then some people just block because of follow-ups. Great question, Nayan. What you have to do is start engaging with their contents. If they haven't responded to you on your first message, just start engaging with their contents. That's all you have to do. Write a comment over there and keep writing a comment till the time they reply to one of your comment. That's the time to follow up. It's all about the timing, right? You have to find that little gap when it comes to sales. The moment you see a window of door of opportunity, you tap in, right? That's how you do it. Again, I'm going to relate it to another like dating example. So let's say that you've always wanted to date someone, but they were in a relationship. But the moment they broke up, you're actually happy, right? The worst thing that you do is probably try to get in touch with them and probably ask them out to see if they're open to just going out, not asking them out, but asking them to just, if they're open to going out for like a quick lunch or a coffee or something like that. You see a window of door of opportunity. You have to patiently wait. Sales is a game of perseverance and patience. So start commenting every single day on every of their posts and engage with their contents every day till the time they start remembering your name. You are automatically building relationship. And then the moment they start, there will come a point where they'll start responding to your comments. That's exactly the time you follow up, because then they will reply. That's how you do this. This is how I do it. This is a very effective strategy. It always works. It always freaking works. So I hope that answers the question. Again, guys, if there are any other questions, please drop them in. I'm more than happy to take up one last question of the day if it comes in the next 5 to 10 seconds. But more importantly, guys, do check out Firstsales.io. It's a brilliant platform. I think you guys will benefit massively, massively out of the platform. We have like hundreds of users already utilizing it. They're getting huge benefits out of it at the same time. I'm going to walk you through the plans very quickly. It's just $60 per month. That's it. If you want to save some money, you can opt for the yearly plan where you save in like 2 months worth of subscription money. And if you sign up right now, there's an offer going on inside the platform. Just click on this button, get started, and you will see an offer coming in for you right away. Take opportunity because that offer might not be there forever. So take in that offer right now. That's a more extra discount for you. On top of this discount, if you opt for yearly, grab in. It's an, again, amazing platform. We're constantly releasing new updates, new features. This upcoming week, our email warm-up feature is going to be coming up. We're actually very, very excited about that, about our email warm-up feature. And more importantly, the following month, we're also going to be releasing our LinkedIn Sales Navigator prospecting tool and our one-to-one email personalization, where we'll scrape the entire data of your prospect from their LinkedIn or their website and write a one-to-one personalized email. How cool is that? Right? You might end up firing a lot of people because of Firstsales, right? But then again, hey, you make more money, right? But again, jokes apart, guys, but it's a beautiful platform. I think your sales team will absolutely fall in love with you because they will make you fall in love as well, because they will be able to generate more sales with you. With that, I'm going to be wrapping up. We are again on time. Woohoo! Congrats, guys. Thank you so much for everyone who are tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed today's content. I was able to answer everyone's question. I'm going to see you guys in 7 days, next Friday on episode 4. It's going to be another dope one. Do not miss out. 9:30 p.m. If you're in US, it's 8 a.m. EDT. Just mark your calendar. Every week, I'm going to be coming back, sharing something new. And I'm going to be sharing a lot of dating analogies as well. So get used to it, right? So with that, I'm going to be wrapping up, guys. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. You guys have a great, great weekend. Don't burn out yourself. Take some time off because you got to get started and selling from Monday once again, right? So take some weekends off, spend some time with family, and I'll see you guys in the next week. Bye, everyone, and happy selling, guys.